Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and I'm going to be ranting. I've done a couple rants over the past month, but this is one that's really been irritating me, and it has to do with the matchmaker. Look at this lineup in front of me here. The enemy team has 3 mediums, 3 tank destroyers, 1 heavy. I'm in a Felice. My tank has a whopping top speed of 30 kilometers per hour. The whole point of driving heavy tanks, especially slow heavies like the Felice, is to counter other slow heavies. What it's not meant to do is go up against a 4005. It's not meant to go up against every medium tank and every tank destroyer known to man. Because it doesn't have the mobility, it doesn't have the DPM to deal with that. Heavy tanks are designed to fight heavies, mediums are designed to fight mediums, and tank destroyers are designed to sit in the back. And the problem is, when you're getting matchups where there's only 1 heavy on the enemy team, well, it starts looking like this. How the hell are you supposed to predict that a T-22, a 4005, and a Waffenträger Panzer IV are all going to frontline in the town of Molenbeek? You can't. But when you're one of only 2 heavies, and you have no team support, this is the kind of result that you get. And this is what's really been frustrating me. Yesterday on live stream, I counted 5 out of the 6 matches that I played where there was only 1 heavy on the enemy team. I'm sure that there's people that'll go into the comments and say, oh, well, you played bad, you should have stuck with your team. You know, it's funny. If you take a look at the post-game results, I actually did top. And not even by a small margin. I did top by quite a bit. You know why? Because my SU-122 and 183 decided not to support me. But that's besides the point. The thing that I'm really trying to complain about here is just how bad the matchmaker is. I'm so sick and tired of playing games in slower heavies and being screwed because the matchmaker decided to put me up against mobile tanks, which I can't deal with. Look at this matchup. 2 E6s. And what do we get on our team? A mouse and me in the Felice. So I go 30, my mouse goes 25, and the enemy team gets 2 platooning heavies, which go 50. How is that fair? Now, we do end up winning this game, but it has nothing to do with my tank, causing the victory. It has to do with the enemy mediums and the E6s making bad plays. But it's just stupid things like this. Every single game I play in a slow heavy, I just get thrown in the matches where every other heavy tank is a Rhino, an E6, something that's fast that I just can't deal with. And then I'm also thrown up against 3 mediums every single battle. It's so irritating and actually just... It's just depressing when you're driving a slow tank and you're getting screwed by the matchmaker. It's just not fun. I've said this so many times over and over and over. There's 2 solutions to this. The first solution is to make it 10 versus 10. If you make the matchmaker 10 versus 10, what ends up happening is it is now putting you in a situation where you are going to have more balanced lineups. There will be more heavies, there will be more mediums, there will be more tank destroyers, right? The second option is more realistic, because Wargaming probably won't ever make 10 versus 10 the base game mode, but I think the more realistic option is to make it so that there has to be a minimum of 3 heavies every single game. That is what I would say. The ideal matchup for me and Blitz would be 3 heavies, 2 mediums, 2 tank destroyers. That's 7 tanks in total, and it has a balanced implication, right? Because then you have some mediums that are able to do their role, you got some heavies which are able to fight each other. It's just, I don't know, it sucks. It really does suck. And something else which I've said for so many years now is to have tank-based matchmaking. What is tank-based matchmaking? It's a very simple mechanic. If I'm driving a Felice, it's classified as a super heavy. It goes 30 kilometers per hour. So what that means is that I should only be able to fight other slow heavies. Now, that's not to say that the matchmaking can't put an E6 on the enemy team, but if it does, there also has to be an Object 260, a Rhino, or a 5A on my team. That is how basic matchmaking should work, right? That's as simple as it is. If you are driving a slow heavy, the enemy team should always also have a slow heavy. If you are driving a fast medium, the enemy team should always have a fast, lightly armored medium. That is the way the matchmaking should go. So for this battle, for example, when my team has 2 E6s against it, I should also have an E6 or an Object 260 on my team to counter that. That is the simple way the matchmaker should work. If Wargaming fixed the game and they made the games more balanced like this, it would be a lot more fun. But the problem is, you just can't do anything. This game, I played perfect. If you watch that entire battle, I penned 99% of my shots. I put myself in the most aggressive position. I even got the most XP on my team. But it doesn't matter, because I was only able to deal 3,160 damage. Why? Because the enemy team doesn't have any health. When you're up against matchups where there's only one heavy on the enemy team, you don't deal damage. It's the major problem with the Matchmaker, and it's the major issue that I've had with a lot of the games I've been playing, is you get into matches where there's no hit points to deal. I mean, look at this matchup here, right? There's 2 and 5Bs, and that's it. Apart from that, it's tank destroyers and mediums. And if you do the math, let's pretend that the enemy team has 1 super heavy and 2 normal heavies. In total, that is, let's say, 9,000, or maybe not 9,000, but like 8,000 health in total, right? I would say 8,000 health is pretty realistic. Because if you take, the average of, actually I can pull out my phone. Let's say that the averages of the 3 heavies in total is 2,700 health. So you pull out your calculator, you do 2,700 multiplied by 3. So that's 8,100 hit points. Now let's pretend that those 3 heavies are substituted with 2 mediums, which have been the matches I've been mostly getting here, right? 2 mediums or 2 tank destroyers instead. So let's say it's 1 heavy, again, maybe 2,700 health, and then multiply it or add it with another 1,800 health for the mediums. So that's 3,600. So you go from 8,000 potential HP to 6,000 potential HP. That is 2,000 less damage on the table. And when you're in a heavy, it also means that you're not fast enough to get that damage, right? Because this tank only goes 30, it means that when you're up against more mediums and more tank destroyers, you're not fast enough to deal damage to begin with. So it just sucks. You lose in every regard. There's less damage on the table for you to deal. You are in a situation where you are completely relying on your team to make plays and hold aggressive positions because you're not fighting heavies. It just sucks. I don't understand why the Matchmaker does this. I really don't. It is so freaking unenjoyable for me to drive slower tanks, to be stuck in positions where I'm completely reliant on my mediums, to have to drive my tank, which goes 30, to the medium side, watch the game completely steamroll in front of me, and then that's it. The whole game's over. As I said, I was live streaming earlier, and I actually ended the stream. And it wasn't out of rage, it wasn't out of anger. It was simply because of the fact I keep getting matches like this, where I have a medium on my team who refuses to go to the medium side, and then it screws me. Because look at this, the medium side's cooked. Our Caro is crying about the medium flank, and our 1-2-1 and both the 1-2-1 and Caro have decided that they don't want to support me. So I'm literally alone here now in a tank that goes 30, screwed, because I have no team support. And that's it. I mean, I do get a little bit more damage out. I actually managed to do okay in this game. I kill the 1-6, or the Błyskawica, and I end up doing okay. But it doesn't matter. The enemy mediums completely collapse around me, and it's over. And you can even see I was pissed at that Caro. In the game chat, the Caro was like complaining about the team, even though it was the Caro's fault entirely for ignoring the medium flank. And this is what happens. You're in a slow heavy, you get screwed. You get flanked, and your game's over. And it's just like this every single game you play. It is so unenjoyable. And especially when I'm trying to actually do well in this tank, because I'm trying to 3-mark it, my mark actually went down yesterday. Because of the matches that I kept getting, I couldn't deal damage, I couldn't get wins, it just sucked. It really did. And when I'm not having fun playing this game, I'm going to make sure that my voice is heard. I think most of you that drive heavies will agree with me here. It is not fun to drive a heavy, to be placed up against 3 mediums, 3 tank destroyers, and 1 other heavy, spend half the game driving, and then do nothing. It's just not fun. Every single game feels like that. It's just not fun. So, oh well. That's my take on the way the Matchmaker currently sits, and I wanted to make a video on this because it literally caused me to end my live stream yesterday. It's luck. That's as simple as it is. Marking a tank or doing well in this game is sometimes purely luck-based, and it's why I have started streaming really late at night, 1, 2 in the morning for my time, because you have more players that are driving heavies than you do during the normal times with medium spam. Wargaming, you need to get your crap together. You need to fix the Matchmaker. You need to make it so there's less mediums and less tank destroyers. Heavies should always be the dominant force in matches. Mediums should not be dominating games. Tank destroyers should not be dominating games. Heavies are supposed to be the main forefront. They're supposed to be the vehicles that are doing the brawling, that are doing the holing, while your mediums, 1 or 2, are going to flank. You shouldn't be having 4, 3 mediums, 3 tank destroyers. It's just stupid. It really is. But that's the current state of the game. Wargaming needs to tweak their Matchmaker. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.